everybody. I am the 1,600,541st person to review for you the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette, but I feel like I have a slightly different take on it than every other review that I've seen. So here it is. I was sent, I threw out the packaging, but I was sent the entire Urban Decay Naked Heat collection, which includes the palette, 3 lipsticks, really pretty packaging there, and 2 eyeliners. The eyeliners and the eyeshadow palette are part of the permanent collection. It's my understanding that the Naked Heat lipsticks are a capsule collection, so those are probably their idea of a limited edition. I am currently wearing Fuel on my lips, and I have, if you stay tuned to the end, you will see a tutorial, or more like a demonstration, of how I achieved this look. So I'm going to cut to it because the tutorial is long. Naked Heat looks like this. The packaging is the best packaging Urban Decay has come up with for a naked palette. It's a hard plastic. It's just pretty. It's lovely. Very substantial. You know, inside the usual, you've got the big mirror that's usable, and then it comes with a double-ended brush that frankly I find totally useless. The domed shadow side is too dense and too stiff to be any kind of blending brush, and I'm not a big fan of the synthetic flat brushes, so that's just me. So I would immediately just chuck the brush. I wish that Urban Decay would, especially since they released 2 eyeliners with this palette, do what they did with the original Naked release. The very first original Naked palette, if you were one of the first people to get it, came with a double-ended eyeliner, a black side and a brown side. And since there are only 2 in this collection, it would have been a cool thing to do. But Urban Decay is not listening to me. Okay, so here you have all 12 shades. Palette is $54. They're the exact same size and I believe weight as every other Naked eyeshadow palette. So this should look familiar to you in concept. I will swatch in just a second, but let me start with the negative and then segue into a big old positive. So the negative is, I don't like the palette. I do like I can say that the eyeshadows themselves are well pigmented for the most part. Most of them blend very nicely. There's nothing wrong with the quality of the shadows. This is a personal thing. It's my channel. It's my review. So, obviously if you watch me, you know, and you probably are as well, not a fan of the big dramatic, eyeshadow looks. This is a guide to the grown-up life, and in general, most grown-ups I interact with are not wearing dramatic eyeshadow. Most of my friends, myself included, prefer a neutral, everyday kind of eye. So these shades, not gonna fall in that category. So for my personal everyday use of makeup, I can't recommend that you run out and spend $54 on this palette. My other problem with it is if you are fair-skinned like me, it swatches like you have pink eye. I mean, I don't particularly think this is the most flattering eyeshadow look on myself, and walking around like to the grocery store or what have you, this just isn't working for me. If you have deeper skin tones, the deeper the better in this case, I would think these colors are definitely going to look much more wearable and prettier on you. So if you fall into, I'd say, mid-tone skin color and deeper, this might be worth a look for you. But my biggest problem is no matter what color your skin is, when you start applying these shades and blending, they all sort of blend together. And it really just looks like you have orange-pink stuff on your eyes. And it's hard to discern the different colors. In fact, I have, on my eye, I have 6 shades on my eye. Can you tell? Probably not. But I do have some good news if you're still here. Earlier this summer, Urban Decay sent me all 3 of the original Naked palettes, 1, 2, and 3. I already have them. I don't need backups, but maybe one of you does. So for one winner, internationally speaking, you don't have to live in the United States, but for one person, I have a Rafflecopter link in the description box. Go ahead and enter. You have to be a subscriber. And if you want additional entries, you can follow me on Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, I think it's follow my Facebook page, not just like it, but you have to be like a follower to my Facebook page and subscribe to the blog. All those give you more entries into the raffle. So there you go. The only one that's required is that you are a subscriber to my YouTube channel. But if you want to increase your odds of winning, there are other ways to do that as well. Okay, let's get to the swatching and then on to the demo. So I'm going to start with the lighter shade. We'll do 3 at a time and we'll work our way. So we have Ounce, Chaser, and Sauced. There you go. Next are Low Blow, Lumbre, and He Devil. Not She Devil, He Devil. Low Blow, Lumbre, He Devil. So there is the first half of the palette. All right, next 3 are Dirty Talk, Scorched, and Cayenne. From the top to the bottom, Dirty Talk, Scorched, and Cayenne. And then the last 3 in the palette are Enfuego, Ashes, and Ember. Dirty Talk on the top, Ashes in the middle, Ember on the bottom. Let's just quickly walk through the eyeliners. The one I have on today is Alkaline. There's Alkaline. You can really see the red in it. And then I believe this is, Torch, which is more of a, well, you'll see it's like an orangey brown. There is Torch. And then the 3 lipsticks in the collection, like I said, Fuel is my favorite. I'm just not really into metallics. Again, like I said, if you're looking for an everyday wearable palette or collection, I really don't feel like this hits the mark. But if you're looking for something a little more out there, a little different, then you'll love this. But this one is one of the metallic shades, and this is Heat. And I will swatch it here. Of the 2 metallic shades, I'd say this is definitely the more wearable, but I feel like this is almost more of a fall shade. And then the other one is Scorched. Also, they don't call it metallic, by the way, it's metallized. And here's Scorched. It's a cool shade. It's just not one I would wear. It's like a coppery brown. And then just to put it side by side, here is Fuel swatched on the back of my hand. There's Fuel right there. Now, if you're still interested, let's cut over to the demo and then stick around after that for my wrap up. I'm going to use a very big brush and just put the lightest shade Ounce all over the lid. You know what? I'm just going to use this as my, all over the lid and up, just basically all over the eyelid surface. All right, next I'm going to do my crease. I'm using a Sigma E40 and I'm going in with the next one in. This is Chaser. And I'm just really following the natural socket line just to add some definition. And I'm going light and I can build up. We're just gonna almost do an ombre effect. So the next one down is this guy. This is Sauced. And I'm gonna take that same brush and just build it up a little bit more. And if you have a hard time finding your socket line, tilting your head back and letting the natural shadows and contours of your face kind of pop out a little bit more will help you. You can see the line a little better when you tilt your head back. This has a very distinct orange tint on me. I'm just gonna blend it out a little more. This is a Coastal Scents brush that has, it doesn't really have a name. It's like BR something. It's like a robot, but I will list it. I love it because it's a great blending brush. It comes to a point. It's huge, but I love it. Alrighty, let's do a lid. So I traditionally like matte or satin finish in the crease and then a lighter shimmery shade on the lid. Now the lightest shade in this palette I feel is far too light to put all over my lid. So the next lightest option would be this one here, which is called Lumbre, which apparently is a French synonym for fire or something like that. So I'm taking a MAC 239 and I'm just patting that very lightly all over the lid and up to the socket because my eyes are hooded. And if I stop at the crease, I cut myself off. So we're patting that on. And I think you can see right here, if we stop, what my problem is with this palette. There really is no difference. Once you start putting all these colors on the eye, not a discernible difference in color. And while in the palette, this has a nice sort of peachy, bronzy sheen. On my lids, it's pink. It's a red pink, and I'm starting to look like maybe I have severe allergies. But we are gonna press on and try to make this doable. So now I'm going with a Sigma E25, yes, which is also like a MAC 217. And I'm going to try and pull less red, more brown. So I'm going to do down on this end, Cayenne. And I'm just poking it into the corner here, just stamping it, and then pulling it up into the socket. A little bit under where we put the crease colors before, the socket colors. The transition, if you will. And then just to balance things out, I'm taking a pencil brush. It's the old numbering system. It's a really old brush. I'm gonna do Chaser first, that original socket kind of transition color, the second latest color in the palette. I'm just gonna run that under the eye. And we'll see from there if I need more. You know what, let's do Sauced, which was that second color. In an effort to make it more wearable for me, I'm going with Ashes, which is this plummy brown shade right at the end, with a brush that is no longer available, but I think it's no longer available from MAC. There is a dupe, I believe, from Sigma though. And I'm trying to cut the red pink that's coming through. So I'm gonna put it in with something a little more precise, like this brush, and then I'm gonna blow it out with again, a brush that's no longer available. It used to be at Walmart, then you could find it on Amazon, and now it has just completely disappeared, but a big, dense, fluffy brush. Not quite as big as that first blending blush I used. Blending brush. This particular color does not blend as well as the other shades. And then I'm going back with my Sigma E40 and Chaser, that second shade, and I'm going over that just to kind of blend it a little more. I'm gonna take Ounce, that lightest shade, and I'm gonna put it in the middle of my lid, the mobile lid, just to kind of cut that pink and add almost like a halo effect. And then I will go back with this guy here and blend it just a little bit. That's pretty much what I've been trying to do with this palette. I'm going to add the eyeliner, the shade Alkaline, which they describe as more of like a burgundy shade. And I will say I like Urban Decay eyeliners in general. They're very creamy, very pigmented, very easy to work with. And I'm a big fan of a burgundy that swings more to the brown side. This is more of a burgundy that swings more to like the reddish purple side. All right, there's the finished look. So final thoughts on the palette. The packaging itself is beautiful and stunning. Best one they've released so far from the Naked collection. The shades themselves are creamy, pigmented, and definitely unique to the Naked range. However, for a fair-skinned person like myself, or for someone who prefers more neutral everyday looks, this palette is not for me, and I couldn't recommend it to someone who wants an all-in-one palette that you can just throw in your bag and go. I find that the color options are all too similar, especially once you start putting them on your eye, and I feel like this palette lacks some key shades to make this, one, more wearable, and two, just a full palette, like a definite highlight shade, a definite brow bone shade, a deeper toned matte outer corner, just like a black or a dark brown. So I personally would not be recommending the Naked Heat palette to almost anyone. However, if you are a deeper skin tone, and the deeper the skin tone, I think the better this would look. I think you will like these colors more. If you're an orange-red fan, you will love this palette. But again, I still caution that because there's a lack of shade range in the palette, once you start putting it on the eye, it looks like a big orange-red kind of one shade for the most part all over your eye. And so I'm going to give it a no recommendation. I feel like there are far better options out on the market for far less money if this is the kind of shade range that you are looking for. As always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for choosing to spend some time with me. Don't forget to check the description box with all of the details. I will also list in there some options for other palettes if this kind of thing is up your alley that I think your money would be better spent on. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.